So the talk today is about attracting the one that you want. So I'm not going to be talking today about the nuts and bolts of building an ideal client persona or identifying your ideal client. What I'm talking about today is the steps that you may not realize that you should be taking to identify and attract your ideal client. Some of those steps, some of you may have been taken, and having looked through the poll, majority of you say you know what the ideal client is, and a good number of you have said that you sort of know what the ideal client concept is, and some of you have even worked on it. And so you may have taken these steps either consciously or subconsciously, or this may be completely new to you. So in terms of sort of building your avatar and all those kinds of stuff, there's plenty of free content out there. I have a video on my YouTube channel as well. So again, with the poll, I've just asked who had come across their ideal client, who's identified the ideal client, and who has created a persona or avatar to bring them to life. So thank you very much for everyone who completed that. So, it's bouncing today. So what is your ideal client? So your ideal client, it forms the group of customers that count most to your business. So they could be the ones, that bring in lots and lots of revenue, are really profitable. They could be the ones that are easiest for you to work with, the least hassle, and these aren't mutually exclusive. They could be both. Or they could be the people who are the ones that really get for what you do, really champion what you do, could produce lots of referrals or those kind of things. It all depends on what your goals are for your business and what you see as success is. Why you need the ideal client and why it's an important thing to think about is, as a small business, you have limited resources. You could try and attract everybody, but you'd be spreading yourself really, really thin. So this, and it's what the ideal client about is not about working with just the people that you've identified as your ideal client. It's about focusing those limited resources you have. You can work with whoever you want to, but when it comes to your marketing, it's about focusing those limited resources on attracting those customers that count most to your business. But what steps did you take to identify your ideal client, and are they in fact your true ideal client? So quite often what I hear is somebody will say, I've decided to launch something, or I've decided to create do a Facebook ad campaign to get my business out there, or I've decided to do some more blogging, and from there I want to figure out what my ideal client is. So starting with the tactic first, as opposed to actually thinking about the bigger picture first. Also, these are other things that people could think, and these steps, these things here, these points here, they're not wrong at all, and they're all things you can be looking at to identify your ideal client. But is it what you should be doing first? So we've got here like looking at competitors who you're targeting, your existing customer base, your followers on social media, and people in your network. And a point I want to make here, for if those of you who are starting up or are launching something, a new part of your business, when you're starting up, yes, you should be thinking about focusing, but if you're a startup, there's nothing wrong with you testing and trying and working with a range of customers to see who fits best. So if you're a startup, don't sit there thinking, oh my God, I've got to focus. She's saying I've got to focus straight away. Sometimes in those cases, it's often a good idea to just test and try, but have these points in mind. So these are all things good steps to be doing, but where should you start? And my recommendation is that you start with your market and what the opportunities, what the trends are. So just take that step back, look at what's going on in your wider market. What trends are there? There are opportunities that you could miss a trick if you just plow straight ahead. Are there gaps? Is there legislation that's coming down the line that could actually either increase the number of people who can enter your market, like by lowering barriers, similar to what happened with the deregulation of the wheels market, where they suddenly overnight a lot more people could actually suddenly create wills. So that created opportunities and threats for different people. So is there something coming down the line? Is there a change in customer, you know, the general market behavior? Is there a segment that you could be looking at where, you know, it suddenly looks more attractive, but you wouldn't have known about that if you hadn't taken that step back and had a look at that first. So what, jump in again. So the steps I recommend that you take, and these can be done concurrently, the first four, although I've put them in a linear order, is first sort of look at what those opportunities, start with that point, look at what those opportunities are, look at what's going on, you know, who, you know, what the trends are, you know, is there anything, as I say, legislation wise that could be present opportunity or even a threat. Look at the customer broadly, or the customer, potential customers that you could target within your market. You know, is there a group, because again, if you, the risk of going straight to your ideal client is you could go, actually I want to go work with this group of ideal clients, and then discover that there's, you know, there's an awful lot of competitors, really, really competitive, and you actually don't have the, to actually make yourself competitive will actually take a more investment than you're willing to make. So it's actually understanding what's going on with, you know, competitors, which group of the market looks most attractive, which group are you, you know, that's easy for you to actually go into. Maybe you're, you know, and then when you're thinking about your goals and your objectives, maybe you're actually saying, no, I really, really want to grow. I need to make that investment. So actually, I'm going to go after that group of customers because I've seen that opportunity. But it's actually just working through those steps first, taking that step back before you determine your ideal client. And again, on the goals and objectives part of it, you know, everyone's, you might be told, go after these ones because, you know, everyone, you know, the goal of your business should be making lots and lots of money, making lots and lots, you know, grow, scale straight away. You might actually go, actually, that's not what I want to be doing at the moment. I want to, I'm actually either for health reasons, for family reasons, actually be looking at something more modest at the moment. So then actually thinking, okay, going after those customers probably doesn't really sit that well. And if you've tried it and it's, you know, there's a tension and the stress with it, that's maybe why. Actually think about which sort of customers would fit best with your goals and your vision of what success is at the moment, which may be income, but it may, and revenue or growth, but it may be actually striking a balance that you need between your work and the rest of your life. And then from there, you determine your ideal client, not before. So why I suggest doing this way is you will make sure that you're going after the right opportunity. You've not missed a trick. As again, I've said, I've had people come to me with ready-made stuff to launch and then thinking about their ideal client. You're actually going, actually, was that the right thing you should be doing, or should you be doing something else? You will make sure that what you're doing aligns with your values and the purposes for your business. So again, you're not trying to do something because you've been told to do it. You're doing something because it actually fits with what you want to be doing with your business. And you will target the customers that will help you achieve those goals. So those ones that will count, the ones that you want and the ones that count most. And on this point as well, something that people have come to me and said, oh, you know, I've really struggled to identify my ideal client because I've been told I have to, they have to be female or male, they have to be of a certain age, they have to have these different demographic factors, and I've tried and it just doesn't really fit. You don't have to if it doesn't work. Yes, that helps if you want to make an avatar, and when you're making an avatar and persona and bringing them to life, but there's no more point forcing it if they're, you know, you can't fit them into those demographic factors. You can think about things like mindset, behavior. In fact, mine is very much about mindset and behavior rather than trying to force it into a, you know, I'll work with females or I'll work with males, or I'll work with, you know, certain business size or you know, that kind of thing. So also, and again, it's about when determining your ideal client, it's about focusing your market, and you can niche down if you want to, but you don't have to. The key thing here is it's about focusing your limited resources on attracting the customers that count most to your business. And you can, if you attract somebody, or somebody who's outside your ideal client profile, and you want to work with them, by all means do. So otherwise, what could happen is you could be targeting with the wrong ideal client for your business and what you want it to achieve. So